Hello family. Today I'm working with a gardenia plant that, as you can see, is really suffering. You can see that the leaves are yellow, and it appears that it's trying to die out on me. So what you're seeing is a problem called chlorosis. And chlorosis is a lack of iron. The plant is not absorbing iron from the soil. Uh, Most of your gardenias, azaleas, rose of Sharons, those types of plants, they love a very acidic soil. And when the soil is very alkaline, they are unable to pull nutrients such as iron from it. And as a result, you see this yellowing uh, effect here. So what I'm going to do to try to combat that and reverse it is change up the pH balance of the soil. I have it going into this pot right here, and I'm going to test the soil. Anything that is in the arena of a 5 or less for pH balance is good. 7 or greater is too alkaline. So I've got this pH balance tester here, this pH analysis tester. I got it from one of the big box stores a while back. It runs off of a AA battery, and you basically just put it into the soil after you've wet the soil for a minute, and it'll give you a reading of where that soil is. Now right now it's sitting at a 7. What I'm hoping for is this needle to move more towards the right to tell me that the soil is more acidic than what I'm assuming it's not. I actually tested out another plant with this tester, and the soil was very acidic. It was right within the 4 range. But let's see what happens when I put the prongs into the soil here, and let's see if it moves. So we just stick it down in there. We stick it down into the soil. Let me get you down there so you can see. And let's see what happens. Now, it was on a 7. It did move just a little bit. It's kind of 7.5 or 6.5 more towards that alkaline side. So the soil is too alkaline for this plant. So the way I'm going to correct that is, first of all, I've got to change the pH of the soil, and then once I do that, I can add in some iron. It's most recommended that you use chelated iron. I don't have chelated iron. I do have just regular iron. I've got something called Iron Night. It's the same thing. It does add iron to the soil, so I'm going to use that. They're granules. But I first have to get this soil pH corrected. And the way I do that is to add in just a little bit of house vinegar and some water. I've got like a 24-ounce bottle that I'm going to use. I did about 2 tablespoons of regular house vinegar that I'm going to add into this soil, and I'm also going to kind of spray the plant with it a bit. Now once I do that, then that'll start to change up the pH balance of the soil. I'll put the iron in there, and then it will allow that plant to pull that iron into it because the soil is now corrected and more acidic like it should be, to allow that plant to pull that iron into it, and hopefully that will correct that chlorosis situation that we see here with the yellowing of the leaves. Now, those of you who do have gardenias, that's a typical nutrient deficiency that attacks gardenias quite often. You have to really watch them because they definitely need to be in a very acidic soil in order for them to thrive and have vibrant green lush leaves. So I've neglected this one. I had it in a pot sitting on my deck steps, and I was just watering it and basically using the same fertilizer that I was using for other plants up here, and that was not a good situation for it, you know. And as you know, they say about the pH balance for your plants, you know, it's very important. You know, all of our plants have a particular pH preference that they want to be in. So it's important to know the pH level of your soil when you're growing plants, especially when you're adding plants into the same pot. One may want a more alkaline soil and one may want a more acidic soil. So it's best to do your research on that plant that you're putting in the pot or plants to understand whether or not they can actually thrive in the same space based on how the soil's pH is set up. So always make sure, family, you look into that when you're doing your planting. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take this pH analysis tool out of the soil. I'll go ahead and get my water and vinegar, and I'm just gonna soak that soil real good with it. Go ahead and soak that soil real good. Let me go ahead and get you down here a little bit closer to it. Push that back a bit, and I'm just gonna soak that soil real good. That vinegar is gonna help make that soil more acidic, so it'll be in the right condition for the gardenia to accept the iron that I'll put in it. Okay, and we'll go ahead and keep soaking that down. I can just pull these out. That was definitely a lemon balm. That kind of, it was self-seeded. It was dropped in there probably by a bird. So go ahead and get that mixed up. I'll do a little bit more here. Because we want that meter to move more towards the right to indicate that the soil is, its pH is changing up. So we'll mix that in. So let's give it a test here. See what we got. And we'll wait for a little bit. And it may take a while, family, before the water and vinegar actually soak in and take effect like it should. But this is really the process that you would use to change up that pH balance. I do see that it did change a little bit here, so we'll give it a little bit more time. And we'll get that changed up here. You know, it's a lot. You can see that it is moving a little bit more towards that right, just a bit. But I'm going to take that out, spray it down some more. Get that soaked up really well. Get it soaked up real well. Mix it in a bit. Because I don't want my gardenia to die out on me. I don't need that to happen. I can save it. I just have to pay more attention to what's going on. I'm so busy in my vegetable garden sometimes I kind of lose sight of other things that I have going on around here. So I just happened to see that today, and I was like, oh man, I need to give this one some TLC. All right, we'll let that sit for a minute, and I'll get some plain water and rinse off my prongs to clean them again. Right? So this is where we are right now. Let's put her in there, see what happens. And you do see that it is moving, family. It is moving further towards that right. You know, the ideal reading would be right around 4 or 5, but it's absolutely becoming more acidic, because when we started out here, it was like 6.5 towards the left, and now it's almost a solid 6. So that soil is definitely becoming more acidic like I want it to, and I'll continue to soak this plant with the water and vinegar. It's still trying to move some, which is making me happy, and it lets me know that the solution is working. Absolutely. So I mean, big difference in where we started out. But again, I want it to get to about a 5 or a 4. We probably won't see that happen right in this setting, but the good news is we know that the pH is changing, and I've just got to continue to add that add that vinegar and water into the soil to keep working on changing that pH balance up. Let me move it over a different spot, see what we got, because as you know, some spots are a little bit different than others, and it's kind of the same. The other one was a little bit more acidic, but anyway, that's what we have here. So I'll keep working on this, family. It's going to take a minute to get it where I want it to be, but I'll keep working on that. But that's what we have. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and move this, because I know that it's changing up. It's not going to change up real drastically right now, but it did move quite a bit. So I'll get some of my iron granules, mix it in there. Go ahead and mix that in there. Put a little bit more of that into the soil to get it ready now for my gardenia. So we're going to set her right in there, and then I'll get more soil and put on her, but that's what we've done. We'll continue to watch her after we put the soil on top, and I'll spray her with some of the water and vinegar solution to help her along the way, and go from there. But I've got to get soil and dump on her. I didn't get any and bring it over here with me, but I'm going to spray her down with that oil and vinegar, and then add more ironite around the base. And there we go. And we'll keep looking and watching her, but she should bounce back and be just absolutely fine, because we did catch the situation in enough time, and looking to change up that pH balance on her pretty quick. All right, but I just wanted to share that with you. For those of you who may be experiencing this chlorosis nutrient deficiency for iron. If you've got a gardenia bush in particular, that's what's going on with it. Sometimes it could be a bug, or some type of insect that's causing that yellowing, but what lets me know it's not is because of the green that's in some of the leaves. There's no bites on the leaves. This is just a greening situation that's happening here. I mean, a yellowing situation that's removing the green. That tells me that's a nutrient deficiency situation that's occurring with my plant. So, yeah, yellowing means lack of iron, needs more iron. And what iron does is help the leaves of your plants be very lush green in color. So there you have it, family. Thank you for stopping by to check this out with me. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Love you, appreciate you. And please, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to tap that notification bell so that you're aware when I do put up new videos. Your support is absolutely appreciated. And with that, this is Sandy 7 with AN-T-NEES signing off today. And these are the Honky Tonk Chronicles for you. Peace and have a wonderful day.